Hello everyone, welcome to SwitchUp as we once again have a look at some of the games coming out on the Switch in this upcoming week. Now last week was actually quite a decent week to be fair, and I'm happy to say that this week seems to have an interesting collection of games coming too. Plus we'll have a look before we start at some of the games that have stealth dropped in this last week, a few of which being a result of the Nintendo Partners Direct that happened just the other day. Okay, with all that said then, let's jump in. Okay, starting with some of those stealth drops then that are available now. The first one is Torchlight 3. Now the Torchlight games are ARPG dungeon crawlers, and the second one was already on the Switch. We reviewed it back in the day. I'll stick a link to that review in the top pinned comment. Now this third game was originally known as Torchlight Frontiers, and as far as I can ascertain, it was due to be an MMO released on mobile devices. But from what I've heard, they scrapped that idea, took out a lot of those elements, and went back to a more linear style of gameplay, reminiscent of the first couple of games. I haven't played this third one, and what I've just said is based on the little bits that I've read here and there, so if you know a bit more about it, perhaps you can let us know in the comments section. It's selling for £35.99, which is a fair bit higher than the second game. Then onto the releases announced via the Partner Direct the other day, the first of which is Control Ultimate Edition, this of course being a cloud version. Now Control is a game that released on the Xbox One, PS4 and Windows, and sees you playing as the director of the FBC, the Federal Bureau of Control, who are there to study and contain anything that goes against the laws of reality. So this is a cloud version then. It's free to download and you play almost a demo or a trial version I suppose of the game, and on completion of that you are then prompted to buy the full version. The reason it does it this way is to test that your internet is stable enough to run the game before you pick it up, obviously because the whole game is played via the internet. This model has been used in Japan. I know Resident Evil 7 played via this, and it looks like it's something that's going to become more commonplace on the Switch now, with Hitman also being scheduled to use this model. What do you think of this? Are you a fan of it? Let us know in the comment section below. Then you had No More Heroes 1 and 2 both being released separately for about £17.99. These are action games where you play as Travis Touchdown. I played the first one back on the Wii, I never got round to the second one, and in that first game you were tasked with taking down the 10 deadliest assassins in the world, rising up the ranks yourself as you did so. It was a crazy game with you having to earn money by taking on side jobs as well. A lot of humour in there, a very enjoyable game, and of course that Direct also showed the trailer for No More Heroes 3. And then you had Part-Time UFO, which is published by Nintendo but developed by HAL Laboratories, the people behind the Kirby series of course. In this game you seem to take on the role of a UFO as you try to stack a variety of objects, helping out the locals as you do so. It looked quite a charming game, the sort of game that you would play for maybe 10 minutes at a time but get quite hooked on and be playing an hour or so later. It sells for just £8.09 in the UK, or your regional equivalent of course, and as with all of the games I've just mentioned, it's out now. The first of the upcoming games for the week then, appropriately releasing on Halloween, this is Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator, coming out on the 31st of October. This is a business management simulator cum survival horror game based in the universe of Five Nights at Freddy's. I think this is game number 6 in terms of the chronology. In this game you have to upgrade your pizzeria looking at your equipment, increasing its efficiency, but also survive 6 days and nights in a row. And there are a few different endings available based on your performance. It's selling for £6.29 and joins the other Five Nights at Freddy's games already available on the Switch. Jumping ahead to the 3rd of November then, you have the release of Jurassic Park Evolution, the Complete Edition. This is a construction business simulator where you must build a park, and it's based on the Jurassic World universe. I've played a bit of this game on the PlayStation 4, not much of it, about 2 hours, and what I will say, as much as I did enjoy my time with it, it does take a bit of getting into. It's not like something like a theme park or a roller coaster tycoon where it's quite accessible from the off. There are quite a few mechanics to learn, and just as I was starting to get into it, a Dilophosaurus or something escaped and I had to spend the next 15 minutes chasing it in a helicopter trying to shoot it with a tranquilizing gun. That being said, I'd be interested in giving it a second go, and I would definitely play it a lot more on a portable device such as the Switch. We will be looking to get a review of this one out for you next week. And then coming out on the 5th of November, you have the BlueCoats North and South. which is a strategy game that combines both turn-based and real-time elements. It's based on an old Amiga game which I think was just called North and South, and the blurb says that you will be partaking in various episodes going back in history to the time of the American Civil War. It says there are 3 different gameplay modes. You have turn-based strategy where you move your battalions to capture new states, real-time battles where you are using your infantry, cavalry and artillery to achieve victory, and it also says there's a gameplay mode where you attack and defend forts in first person. It's playable with both 1 or 2 players and is selling for £26.99. Next, another survival horror game just after Halloween. This is Outbreak: The Nightmare Chronicles. I think there are a few games in the Outbreak series, and I'm pretty sure there's another one already on the Switch. I've never played these games, but having just watched the trailer for this one, it looks very much like an old school Resident Evil game. In fact, the setting looks like the Spencer Mansion from the first game. It has screenshots that look like there's an underground facility. There's even an enemy that looks very much like a hunter. It's selling for £11.69, although it does have 15% off of this price until the 11th of November, and this is about half the price of those Resident Evil games. I'm talking 0 and 1, already available on the Switch. Perhaps if you've played these you can tell us if they are any good, if you're looking for a bit more action in terms of survival horror. On the 6th of November you have Bakugan Champions of Vestroia selling for £39.99. This is based on the popular TV series, and as much as it might garner snorts of derision from the comments section, I'll be honest, I'd never even heard of Bakugan until a couple of weeks back when Mark and I were talking about games that are coming to the Switch soon, and he mentioned this game and I must have given him the most blank of expressions because he then promptly described exactly what it is. The blurb says that this will take you on the ultimate brawl as you befriend Bakugan, gear up and customise your teams for intense battles, mastering skills to become the champion of Vestroia. You can play the game in single player or you can battle online. I have watched a bit of gameplay footage, and as much as I like the scale of the Bakugan against the trainers, I'm assuming that's something that's straight out of the show, the actual gameplay itself looks a bit odd, with you collecting gems or something as you fight. Doesn't seem the most interesting mechanic. Bearing in mind the subject matter, perhaps it plays better than it looks, I don't know. If you want to try and educate me in all things Bakugan, please do leave something in the comment section below. Which is your favourite? What's it all about? What have I been missing out on? Next up then, another construction or business management game. This is Tropico 6 Nintendo Switch Edition. The Tropico series has been running for quite a while, and it joins a long list of these type of games now on the Switch. For me, they're absolutely perfect for handheld play. This sees you playing as El Presidente on the island of Tropico, although in this one for the first time you play across large archipelagos, building bridges to connect your islands. You will have to build transportation systems and embed a good infrastructure. You can send your agents to foreign lands to try and steal their wonders of the world, and give election speeches making promises that you can't keep. It sells for £44.99, although there is 10% off of that price up until launch, and this is another game that we'll have a review out for you for next week. Then we have a game called Yestermorrow selling for £16.19, although there is 25% off of this price up until the 18th of November. This is a 2D platform adventure where you need to navigate parallel timelines in order to save your family. You have the serene timeline of the past juxtaposed against the corrupted world of the future. There are puzzles to solve along the way, as well as hidden areas and power-ups to find. In terms of the graphics, it looks very much like a game that came out on the Switch a couple of months ago called Phoenotopia. I'm not sure which game came first elsewhere, but there is definitely a similarity between the two art styles. It actually looks pretty fun, to be fair, and with that 25% off for a couple of weeks yet, it might be worth considering. And the final game for the week is a game called Memoranda. This is a point and click adventure game which is based on the idea of forgetting or being forgotten. It tells the story of a young woman who realises that she is forgetting her own name. This sets you off on a quest to see if she is losing her memory or if there is something more sinister at play. It uses hand-drawn graphics, has an original soundtrack of more than 15 songs, thousands of lines of dialogue, more than 35 characters to meet in 40 different locations. It most definitely looks charming and is selling for quite a decent price of £12.49.
Fallen asleep, open your eyes. This is only the 17th day of no sleeping.
So there you have it, another week on the Nintendo Switch, and between the stealth drops and the upcoming, I don't think that's too bad a lineup. Perhaps not a huge amount of variety, a few business simulators, a couple of horror games, and some strategy games thrown in there as well. But if you are into such games, you may well find something to pick up. Do any of these games interest you? Please do let us know in the comment section below. Have you picked up any of the games that stealth dropped? If so, what have you made of them so far? A big thank you to our Patreons as always for your continued support, and to each and every one of you for watching our videos. Take care, stay safe of course, and until next time, happy gaming.